nation, no matter the location. From OAKLA to LV, I'm a Raider.
Raider Nation, what's going on? You're watching the Raiders Report. Mitchell Renz here to break down Raiders rumors and some news. We're going to talk about safety free agent Marcus Williams. We're also going to take a deep dive into Nelson Agholor and potentially finding another cheaper option at wide receiver in free agency. We're going to kick off the show here with Williams, who is only 24 years old, and Pro Football Focus thinks that the Raiders are going to be very interested in the young safety. Multiple reasons why, right? Obviously, safety is a major need for this football team coming off just an absolute disaster in the secondary. Not only that, when you look at a lot of the talent in the free agent pool, it's like, who exactly is going to be the highest players that you're going to go out and get? Justin Simmons, Anthony Harris. Maybe the Raiders want to go a little bit cheaper, which is a guy like Marcus Williams, and he is freakishly young, and it's really hard to be able to find a player with 4 years of NFL experience at age only 24. He's solid against the run, but the biggest thing that this team needs in a safety, because no offense to Jonathan Abram, no offense to Eric Harris, and no disrespect to Jeff Heath, none of these guys can even carry Williams' jockstrap when it comes to actually being able to cover in the secondary. So this is exactly what PFF had to say about why they think that the Raiders should go out and sign Marcus Williams. The Raiders will be in the market for a fresh new safety to play the single high role in Gus Bradley's defense, and Williams, a West Coast native, is a prime candidate for that job. Here's the second part of what they said. Williams has established himself as one of the top cover safeties in the game since he entered the league as a second-round pick out of Utah in 2017. He has earned the fourth best PFF grade at the position over the last 4 years, and the total WAR Williams has accumulated in that span is the fourth most among all defenders. Obviously, PFF highly praises Williams, who has been, as they said, one of the best young defenders in the National Football League over the last 4 seasons. And in 2020, he's coming off another very impressive year. 59 tackles, 3 interceptions, 7 pass breakups. I know a lot of times people always talk about how great that New Orleans Saints offense is. People don't nearly talk enough about how great the defense is. Yes, Williams had that freakish, we'll call it the miracle in Minnesota, but besides that one play, this dude's been sensational. And then you can instantly insert him into the free safety spot over Eric Harris, who, as you can see, is going to be a free agent and he's already moved out of Las Vegas and is not going to be coming back anytime soon. I've been saying for a long time that potentially you could move Jonathan Abram to linebacker or maybe play him the way that the Seattle Seahawks do with Jonathan Abram and get him out from the backfield, because that's not really what's going to be able to help this defense. Having Marcus Williams back there at free safety, that's something that I can get behind here. So when we make these videos here at Chat Sports, we're always trying to think of different styles of segments and videos to do. I made a video, the top 10 free agent safeties that the Raiders could go out and sign this upcoming year. Marcus Williams is on that video. I'm not going to tell you where he is exactly. He's not number 1, but he's pretty high up there. If you want to see some other free agent safeties that the Raiders could go out and sign this upcoming year, please go check out this video. This is what the thumbnail looks like. If you want to see other videos around the Las Vegas Raiders, we drop new videos every single day. So hit that big red button that says subscribe, or you can just take the link that y'all see below, youtube.com/RaidersReport, and send it to some friends. So get your votes in here. It's what we do. Should the Las Vegas Raiders go out and sign Marcus Williams? I want you to type Y for yes. I want you to go down in the comments section and type N for no. But this is what I want you to think about. It's going to cost some money. When I think how much it's going to cost, I'm somewhere around this like 13, 14, maybe $15 million per year range. If you go out and sign Williams, I don't know if you're really going to have that much money to go out and spend on a big-time defensive tackle like Leonard Williams. All right, let's talk about Nelson Agholor here. So Bleacher Report, they wrote an article about one player that the Raiders could basically put on the franchise tag and some other players that they could sign as, I believe, tenders was the article. So they thought that the Raiders should franchise tag Nelson Agholor. Why? Because this way you're able to bring back his number 1 wide receiver from last year. Obviously, Agholor is going to be a free agent, and if you're not 100% sure whether or not he's going to re-sign with you, maybe you could just franchise tag him. At least that was their idea. Here's the issue, though. In the article, they don't quite have the right number for how much it would cost to tag him. So I'm going to just simply tell you that this is what it would cost, $16.84 million to tag him. But how about this? Let's walk through why Raider Ramble / Bleacher Report had to say about tagging Agholor. However, If the Raiders and Agholor can't agree to a deal, perhaps they consider using the franchise tag on him to ensure he'll be back in 2021. According to Jason Fitzgerald of Over the Cap, the franchise tag salary for next year for wide receivers is projected to be $15.808. I'm telling you again, it's $16.84 million. Small miscalculation on their part. It's all good, though. Here's the second part of this. It's a decision that the Raiders will have to think over, though, as they have had several young wide receivers, Ruggs and Edwards, who could play larger roles if Agholor didn't return, or Las Vegas could also look for another bargain deal with another receiver, such as the one they got for Agholor last offseason. So we'll get back to that quote here in a second, but what I am curious here is, should the Raiders tag Nelson Agholor? I want you to type T for tag, or I want you to type D for don't. If you are going to type T for tag, reminder, it's going to cost $16 million, $16.84 million. And he made $1 million last year. It's a big pay increase, right? Or, let's go down in the comments section and type D for don't. I'm going to tell you where I stand on this, but first, I do want to tell you about this awesome deal that we got going on with BetUS. I know if you're a normal watcher, you're like, Mitch, we know about this deal. But I'm actually surprised how many new viewers we always get here. So I'm always just trying to tell you guys what's going on, right? So chatsports.com/Raiders is the link that you have to go to. If you don't go to this link, you're not going to get the deposit bonus. So why even do it then? So again, chatsports.com/Raiders. When you go sign up, create an account, use this promo code Raiders125. It gets you 125% deposit bonus. What does that mean? It means that when you deposit $100, you get $125 for free to bet with. It's the best deal on the internet. Like, I've seen other Raiders podcasts out there offering 50%. We're offering an extra 75%. It's not even close. Now, let's just say if you don't want to bet on, I don't know, the NBA right now, or March Madness is coming up, which I like to bet on just about everything. Maybe you just want to bet on the Raiders. It's all good, right? It's the Raiders Report. Here are the latest AFC West odds. So the Chiefs minus 450, the Chargers at plus 425, which just absolutely blows my mind. Raiders at plus 1,000. Far too often I take for granted that people don't understand what this exactly means here, plus 1,000. So how about this? I'm going to break it down for you. With the Raiders plus 1,000 odds to win the AFC West, that essentially means this. If you risk $10, okay, you bet on the Raiders, risk $10, and if they win the AFC West, you win $100. I mean, that's a pretty good investment, right? Like, hell, if you want to invest, I don't know, risk $10 or $100, you can win $1,000. Like, at the end of the day, if you're rooting for the Raiders, you're trying to have a good time, put down a $10 bet and you root for them the entire year. I mean, why not go ahead and do it? So one more time, it's chatsports.com/Raiders. Promo code Raiders125 for 125% deposit bonus. So should the Las Vegas Raiders go out and tag Nelson Agholor? No, this makes absolutely no sense. I'm sorry, Tuck rule. Tuck that. It's going to cost you $16.84 million to tag him. At that price range, I'd rather just go out and get a top wide receiver like an Allen Robinson, like a Chris Godwin, hell, Kenny Golladay for that amount of money. But for me, I'm projecting Agholor somewhere around this $8 million range. Like, why would I bring him in for 1 year at 16.84 when I'm actually believing that you could get him for $8 million a year, 2-year contract, you lock him in. Sure, if you want to absolutely guarantee you bring him back, you go out and pay him like 9, 10. I've seen reports of $11 million. It makes literally 0 cents to tag him. And here's the other thing. You don't have to tag anyone. The Raiders didn't tag anyone last year. So I'm going to go back to this quote here again, okay? It's a decision that the Raiders will have to think over, though, which you're 100% right, as they have also several young wide receivers, Ruggs and Edwards. But what I really want you to look at here is this, the final sentence in this quote. Or Las Vegas could also look for another bargain deal with another receiver, such as the one they got in Agholor on the last offseason. So let's go to that. Who could be the next Nelson Agholor for the Raiders? And what I want you to think about is a receiver who's probably around that, like, let's say 26, 27, 28, maybe even 29-year-old range. Somebody who maybe is coming off an injury. Somebody that you think that you can get him on a cheap 1-year prove-it deal. So I'm about to give you my name, but before I do, go down in the comments and give me yours. The name that I'm going to go with here is, I'm going to go with Dede Westbrook. And could he be the Nelson Agholor? Two Chucky heads, people are talking. Who's talking? It's me. So he played in only 2 games in 2020 due to an ACL injury, but he spent his first 4 seasons with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So he was drafted in the 4th round out of Oklahoma. The receiver that went a lot higher than him from his own team was Sterling Shepard, who is another guy that I liked a lot. But when you're looking for who you can get on a one-year prove-it deal, it could also be a few things. It could be somebody who struggled, like Agholor did on his past team, or a younger player who suffered a major injury. And that's exactly what Dede did. He played in only 2 games in 2020. He had 1 catch, 4 yards, 27 years old, kind of the same build as Agholor. But if you're a guy like Westbrook, and if you're Westbrook's agent, and you just saw what the Las Vegas Raiders were able to do for Agholor and how much money they basically made him, like, that's what I'm trying to do. So if, let's say you don't go out and get Agholor, if I'm Westbrook, if I'm his agent, I'm like, how can I get on the Las Vegas Raiders? And that's the type of guys that we want. Plus, I mean, look at his numbers, okay? 2019, 101 targets, 66 catches, 717 yards, 5 touchdowns. Who were his quarterbacks? 12 games with Gardner Minshew and 4 with Nick Foles. Imagine what he could do with Derek Carr. Now, this isn't a typo, and producer Sam and I, we had to take a double look. Look at his 2018 stats. The exact same amount of targets, 101. The exact same amount of receptions in 66. But this time, 660 yards, 3 touchdowns. And who are his quarterbacks? 12 games with Blake Bortles and 4 with Cody Kessler. That's disgusting. I mean, imagine playing with those type of quarterbacks. If he's able to put up these type of numbers with those quarterbacks, I'm just curious what he could do with Derek Carr on a 1-year contract. So as it stands right now, your wide receiver 1 is Nelly. Like, that's okay. I don't know if he's honestly going to come back. Zay Jones also in the slot. I don't know if he's going to come back. So if you can bring Dede Westbrook in on a cheap 1-year prove-it deal, why not at least try to do it? Now, he might not put up the numbers that Nelson Agholor did because he's not quite the same receiver in terms of overall speed. But he is a possession receiver, and he is at least a receiver that you can get on a cheaper contract, and if you're able to save up some money, guess what? And then you can go out and spend more on free agency on defense, and then you're also going to get more run from Henry Ruggs. You're also going to get more run from Bryan Edwards. So that's why I thought this idea was at least interesting. So don't be shocked, and don't be afraid to go out and look at a guy like Dede Westbrook. So before I leave you all today, if you want to hit me up on IG, I'm at Mitchell Renz 365. My birthday, it is coming up, and if anybody wants to wish me a happy early birthday, I'll never say no to that. So if you guys want to talk any more Raiders with me, though, seriously, my DMs are open. I'm at Mitchell Renz 365.